students, good morning day. Today we are going to continue the chapter The Tiny Teacher. Let's begin. First, let us see the outline of the story. The Tiny Teacher itself depicts the dedication of the smallest creature towards their duties, asking them to perform in a very sincere way. Being the hard-working and intelligent creature, they perform their duties in the form of cleaners, nurses, workers, soldiers and trainers. They lived in an anthill having hundreds of little rooms and passage for all ants. The queen ant only lays eggs after its wedding flight with a drone. Through the life cycle, egg, grub, cocoon and a perfect ant appears. They learn their duties from old ant and ready to survive in the world of work like cleaners, nurses, workers, soldiers and trainers. They also allow other creatures to live in their anthill to get pleasant smell, sweet juice and playthings. People should learn many qualities from this wisest creature: hard work, sense of duty and discipline, loyalty towards their country.
First glance, a fire ant hill, or mound as it's properly called, looks impossibly small. And yet, a colony of up to 250,000 ants call it home. But here's the secret. That mound is just the tip of an enormous iceberg. So let's take a closer look at what's inside an anthill. The mound is really the top of an enormous underground structure, the nest, which is basically a giant nursery, a nice, cozy place to raise babies. A lot of babies. Their mother, the queen, roams around the nest while laying 1,500 eggs a day. Now, all those baby ants need to live in a narrow temperature range to grow. So that nest sports temperature-controlled rooms, and it does so without the help of an AC unit. The secret is in the design. The nest is arranged like an ice cream cone. At the top you have the mound, the ice cream, as it were. Because it's above the surface, it warms from the heat of the sun. So the babies can snuggle up in toasty chambers networked throughout the mound. But they can't stay there all day or they'd get too hot. That's where the cone part of the ice cream cone comes in. The mound is connected to several vertical shafts that plunge up to 2 meters beneath the ground. That's taller than most humans. Throughout the day, adult ants ferry the babies up and down the shafts, chasing that perfect temperature for their young charges. The nest also sports dozens of tapering tunnels that branch off from these main shafts. These connect to small chambers where the ants rest, eat, and feed the babies until it's time to move the little ones once again. Now, there's one more type of tunnel inside the nest, but only a few ants ever use it. You see, someone needs to find food for the rest of the colony, but running around outside the nest is dangerous business. That's where forager tunnels come in. These are a couple of horizontal passages buried just a few centimeters from the surface. But they run throughout the entire territory, which can cover up to 185 square meters of land. By scurrying through these passageways, the scouts can stay underground as long as possible. But unfortunately, the nest and all its roads can't protect the ants from every threat. It turns out all sorts of critters sneak inside fire ant nests. And while many of them are actually harmless, others are horrible house guests. For example, beetles burrow into the nest and devour the eggs and larvae. But invaders aren't the only threat to the colony. Occasionally, clueless humans or major floods disturb the nest. And when that happens, the fire ants have only one option: leave. Once a year, on average, the colony will move out and build an entirely new nest from scratch. And best of all, they only need a few days to do it. That's right. Practically overnight, meters upon meters of tunnels can pop up in your yard. And all you'll notice is a tiny mound.
Now, some questions and answers. How do ants talk or greet other ant? An ant uses its feelers or antenna to talk or greet other ant. Which is the commonest type of ant? The red and black are the commonest ants. Where do the ants live? They live in their comfortable home called nest or ant hills. What is the duty of worker ant? The worker ants spend most of their time in searching food. What is a wedding flight? On a hot summer day, the queen ant flies up in the air to meet a male ant. This is called a wedding flight. How is the home of ants originated? Every ant hill has hundreds of little room and passage. Rooms are reserved for each member of the community, like rooms for the queen ant to lay eggs, nurseries for the young ones, and quarters for the workers, storehouse for food, and barracks for soldiers. Why an ant does allow other creature to live in an ant hill? An ant allows other creature to live in an ant hill because some of them give pleasant smell, other give sweet juice, and others some are just pets or playful things like cats and dogs to human beings. Who's called an ant's cow? The green fly is an ant's cow. How does an ant train the green fly to give honeydew? The ant trains them to give honeydew with the touch of their antenna. They milk it just as we milk the cow. Name some of the qualities of an ant. An ant is a hardworking, intelligent, disciplined, and loyal creature. The story of an ant's life sounds almost untrue. The utilized praise means what? Option A, highly exaggerated, too remarkable to be true, not based on facts. The answer is the utilized phrase means too remarkable to be true. An ant is the smallest, the commonest, but the wisest insect. We know a number of facts about an ant's life because we have watched their daily behavior closely. In what ways is an ant's life peaceful? An ant's life is peaceful because they live together in peace and harmony. They do their own work and do not interfere or interface in the other's work. They never fight with the other ants of the same group. How long does it take for a grub to become a complete ant? It becomes 5 to 6 weeks for a grub to become a complete ant. Why do the worker ants carry the grubs about? Worker ants carry the grubs about for daily exercise and sunshine. What different jobs are learned by new ants? The new ants learn the duties of workers, cleaners, soldiers, and builders from old ants. Name some of the creatures that live in ant hills. The green fly, beetles, lesser breeds of ants, etc. Mention 3 things we can learn from the tiny teacher. We can learn hard work, sense of duty, and loyalty from this tiny teacher. Hard work makes the life of an ant so organized and disciplined. If we want to lead a proper life, we must not shy away from working hard. Sense of duty is very important because if everyone does his or her work sincerely, there will be no chaos. The most important is loyalty to the land where one lives. We must be always loyal to our people and our country. How is the home of ants organized? Answer. An ant hill has hundreds of little rooms and passages. Rooms are reserved for each member of the community. Rooms for the queen ant to lay eggs, nurseries for the young ones, quarters for workers, storehouses for food, and barracks for soldiers. Now let's summarize this story. Introduction. The writer writes about ants, the tiniest creature. He describes about the habits and habitats of ants. Ants lead exemplary life for humans, in particular. The responsible, dedicated, and discipline of ants can bring social reforms. Antenna. Ant is one of the smallest but the wisest insect. Ants communicate with each other through antenna. There are many kinds of ants. The most common of them all are black and red ones. Anthill. They live in anthills with hundreds of little rooms, and others are used as a nursery for the young ones. Workers who spend their time searching for food have their own separate quarters. Soldiers are placed in separate barracks, and there is a separate storeroom. Queen ant. The queen lives for about 15 years. It has a pair of wings. She bites off her wings after its wedding flight. She goes in the air on a summer day to mate with a male ant. She lays an egg off and gets rid of its wings. Thus, she is the mother of the entire population. Life of young ones. Grubs come out of eggs. Workers look after them. Soldiers guard them. Later, grubs become cocoons without food or activity for at least 3 weeks. Then perfect ants appear from the cocoons. Ants then get trained from old ants. Ants, cow, beetles, greenfly also reside in ant hills because some of them smell pleasant, others give sweet juices, and few of them are pets. Greenfly gives honeydew and it is called as ants, cow. Conclusion. Ants can teach human being hard work, sense of duty, discipline, cleanliness, loyalty, etc. Hope you have understood this concept. Thank you. Bye bye. See you.